Hi friends, we are going to do our module lesson today about birds. We've been observing birds. We're going to write some sentences about birds. You're going to read or you're going to listen to a story about birds. So let's go down here. I have just a couple little fun pictures. What are these down here in the corner? These are going to be important later. Some peacock feathers. So birds. We're on Module 3, Unit 1, Lesson 4. We're cranking along. We're working our way through. So, let's see here. So, our learning targets for this lesson. I can read and discuss information about bird feathers using the text just ducks and birds. We're actually not going to use just ducks. We're going to just use birds today. And we're only reading a small chunk of it. Then your second is, sorry, let's make this a whole page again. Sorry. The second is I can create and label an observational drawing of a peacock. And that's going to come about in your notebook. You're going to use your notebook. And there's a picture of a peacock in here that you can observe, or you can go online and get some more information about peacocks. And then you're going to draw a picture of a male peacock, and then you're going to label it and write me a sentence about it. Let's do our bird poem. We went walking into the park to find some lovely little birds. My dad said, "Look, that bird is pretty." "That bird is gorgeous," I said to Dad. My dad said, "Look, those wings are big." "Those wings are humongous," I said to Dad. My dad said, "Look, that beak is little." "That beak is minuscule," I said to Dad. My dad said, "Look, those feathers are bright." "Those feathers are brilliant," I said to Dad. We went walking into the park and found some stunning little birds. There's a lot of really great adjectives in that sentence. Remember, an adjective is a word or words that describe the noun. The noun is the person, place, or the thing. An adjective describes the noun. So back in our poem, let's go back here. So when Dad said that beak is little, little is the adjective because it's talking about the beak. The beak is little. Now, the person who is responding to Dad said that beak is minuscule. Minuscule means the same thing as little. It means very, very small. But it's kind of a special word. It's a big word. It's a spicy word. You don't hear that word every day. So it's a really cool adjective. So if you look here, shades of meaning, we've got our little regular adjectives here, and then adjectives with more strength. This is supposed to be like bars on your cell phone when you can't hear or you can't play the game, and you go somewhere and you have boom, 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 more bars, and your signal is strong. So this is the same thing. So this is rich. Rich can mean you have a lot of money, or in this case, it can also mean that it's very, it's kind of a goofy word, like it's a lot. It's really, you could say the color is very rich, which means the color is really clear and you can see it really well. If you want to give that word, that adjective, a little more strength, you can pop over here and you can say vibrant. Vibrant. Have you heard that word before? Come back here. Strong. Strong. You could say mighty. Mighty bird. Light. Light. Or fluffy. Can bring it to the next level, just kind of a spicier word. Skinny, meaning very, very thin, or scrawny. That's a great word. Scrawny means really skinny. So here are some bird pictures. Take a second. Let's look at these pictures. It looks like we have an eagle, and it looks like we have a woodpecker, and it looks like we have a hummingbird, and we have an owl. In your mind, think of some adjectives that you could use to describe these birds, or their attributes. Their attributes are just the things that are about them, their color, their shape, their size. So if you were to look at the eagle, think of some words you can think of to describe that eagle. We know eagles are pretty big, wonderful animals. So I would say probably maybe majestic, the majestic eagle. That could be a word that could describe him. Look over here at the little woodpecker. He's very cute. He's very little. He's blue. He's fluffy. What other words could we use to describe him? He's not doing anything now, but if he was going, you could say he was very busy or active. How about this hummingbird down here in the corner? There's lots of cool things we could describe with that hummingbird. We could talk about how sharp and pointy its beak is. We could talk about how vibrant the red is on his chin. We could talk about the bright blue tail feathers back here. Let's go over here to the owl. The owl, the wise old owl. Those are adjectives, wise and old, to describe the owl. We could talk about his fluff. He's got some fluffy fluff. We could talk about his tiny beak or his huge orange glowing eyes. Lots of ways we could describe these birds. So in our module lesson, we're going to be talking about feathers. Feathers. So this is a peacock. This is a male peacock that's got all of his plume. It's called his plume. His tail feathers open. He's showing off for his girlfriend. So in your book, it's actually page 7 of the book, but it will be called page 5 for your birds research book. I want you to draw a picture of a peacock, and I want you to do some labeling. So label the feathers, and then you're going to write a sentence about the feathers. So something you noticed about the feathers, something you thought was interesting about the feathers, write that at the bottom in your notebook. Good job.